Yeah, man, we're just doing Ross and Russ, Boss Up episode, the Boss Up episode. You know what I'm saying? Whether you a mogul or whether you are independent, get it on your own, get it F this industry type, you know what I'm saying, artist, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, welcome to Beers and Bars.
Your place for rapid fire hip hop discussion and of course great beer.
I'm Kamal Kiddo.
OT to go and child. Thank y'all for checking out our last episode. Me and the homie, you know what I'm saying, reviewing our Grammys and whatnot, along with a couple other things that we talked about last time. If this is your first time checking us out, we want to thank you. If you are a continued supporter of the podcast, thank you for staying with us. If this is your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you are listening or watching at. If you're watching, obviously that's on YouTube. If you're listening, go ahead and even leave a comment, man. Like this joint. That's how these algorithms work. You know what I'm saying? Rate us on Spotify or Apple, wherever you checking us out at. Yeah, man. Beer and rap. That's what we do. Thank you for checking us out. Come on. With that being said, what are we talking about this week?
Today, we're talking about Russ, who dropped the album, I think, last Thursday. It wasn't on Friday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So it's been out like a week and some days now, or a day now. Mm-hmm. Or by the time people hear this, week and some days. But Russ, his latest album, Chomp 2. And then we're talking about Rick Ross's 11th studio album, Richer Than I Ever Been.
It's the biggest.
The biggest.
It's the biggest.
What's the name of this episode, man? What are we calling this episode?
When this joint drop, man, we're going to call this joint Boss Up, man. Simply because we are dealing with two people who play in the area of preaching to people to boss up, to level up. Russ is an independent artist. My first time really checking him out outside of, stuff that I had saw about him, different controversies and whatnot, or just him being an independent grinder. I knew about him from that standpoint. Sure. This is the first time I listened to his music for real. And then we know what Ross does. He's a mogul. He's MMG certified and all that stuff. So y'all boss up out there, man. That's what this is going to be called when you see this joint drop.
True.
Yeah.
What are we drinking?
So I've been on PTO. Shout out to the homie JR Bang. He sometimes he beats my PTO Bang. This is PTO OT this week. You know what I'm saying? I've been dialed out. I've been reading a book. Last week I was at Walmart shopping for the boys, lunch and all that kind of stuff. And while I was there, I copped a Two Brothers variety pack, and I really been drinking like 1 or 2 beers per day all week and reading a book. Or I'm watching Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars fan, True. But I did reserve this week to go ahead and get into Star Wars. So I'm actually on the second one, which is episode 5, I think, Return of the Empire.
So you're watching them in the order that they came out?
In the chronological order that they came out in, for sure.
Not like they like 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna experience it as you had to as a fan, all you Star Wars fanboys. But anyhow. I said all that just to say that I don't have a lot of beer, really. If you listened to me last week, I didn't have a lot of beer. I have 2 beer. Look, I have 2 beers left in my beer fridge, and this is a beer pod. One of them is this joint, which I had last week, which is Revolution Brewing Straight Jacket, which is a barley wine coming in at 15%. If you checked this out last week, I read it off. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to read it again this week for any new listeners. This is a barley wine. Our barley wine ale features American and Belgian malts, which provide the base of this extraordinary ale. After 12 months in bourbon barrels, this award-winning straight jacket, emerges with notes of stone fruit, toasted coconut, molasses, and vanilla, coming in waves as you swirl the glass. Now, enjoy now or store cold. What's crazy, check this out, Kamal, is I have a little Two Brothers glass that I'm drinking now.
Wow, classy guy.
Look at that. I just talked about how I got the Two Brothers variety pack, and I'm drinking this Rev beer, and I'm drinking it out of a Two Brothers. I don't know what this type of glass is called, but yeah.
I don't even want to play myself and call it.
It is for this type of beer. It is a smaller type joint that is typically reserved for these type of this isn't a pastry stout, but if you have pastry stouts, barley wines and all that kind of good stuff, smaller type glass and whatnot. Yeah. So.
Yes. Well, that's wild because I'm actually having a maple jacket today.
Hold on, stop. Are we some Rev Brewing fanboys right now? Look at this hat.
Wow. Yo, shout out John, man. Showing love, man.
Wow. Go ahead.
But we out here right now. We revved up. Right now.
You really are this week.
Maple jacket, barley wine, aged with maple syrup. This is a 14.4 barley wine. ABV on this. Another one part of their Deepwood series. This is a Deepwood season for them. This is a new one, I believe, from their Deepwood series this year. Yeah. I really
have you had that one yet? Have you had it yet?
You drinking out of two brothers. I'm drinking out of the OG Argus glass. You know what I'm saying?
Word up. Have you had that one before? Have you had that before?
I've never had it. This is my first time having it ever. I do like barley wines. I do like Revolution barley wines.
Yeah, I can't even say I've had a lot of barley wines. So besides them,
besides, I mean, they really got me into barley wine. I didn't know what a barley wine was until John educated us on what barley wines were, how the process works of making them, the barrels and all of that. And when I had it, I started liking them, the sweetness of, but the thing is, I can only have one.
Yeah.
They're not like a crushable joint. It's just a smooth, chill, situational type joint. And then after that, I'm gonna be out. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be out.
It is a smooth ride, man. And I really I kind of got to get back into going over some of the things that I'm getting within the beer when I'm on the show. So I'm gonna do that right now, even though I cheated already. But definitely molasses for sure.
True. The straight jacket, right? Straight
yes. Jacket. Definitely. I mean, I get a lot of the notes of molasses on this joint, man. That which is like that's very sweet taste that you get up front. Mm-hmm. Definitely. I don't know if it's maple I'm catching, but let me see. Yeah, it's put like this. The molasses is the strongest within it. You know what I'm saying? Does have kind of like a maple syrupy. I know you drinking the maple joint, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm also kind of getting that vibe as well. I could be incorrect, but let me just give a point here though. The most recent release was their rye, their dark mold, and the maple jacket. So yeah, man. Yep.
Sure. Yeah. This I know it's part of their recent release.
Yeah,
latest series, recent release. Yeah, this maple jacket is good. It is very high on the syrup. I'm gonna keep it real. It's a little sweet. It's a little like extra sweet though.
Super sweet.
It's a little sweet, and with it being 14.4, that's gonna be a heavy joint right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It feels even sweeter because of that. But it is strong on the nose with the maple though. It's like it's mapley. It's syrupy. It's you taste that joint. This is about to have me like, you know what I'm saying? That scissor.
Well, listen, my wife probably will like that joint because she really likes the barley wines as well because of that sweetness that it has. I was reading up on it a little bit. I guess what really makes them that way, the whole barley wine joint is that they extract like huge proportions of sugar from the barley to get as to why is that high gravity as well from the standpoint. Well, one, for why is that sweet, and why all these joints is like super up there as far as alcohol, obviously also being aged in the bourbon barrels and whatnot. But you know what? Let's do this too. Do you have your top 5 beers? We said we wanted to do that on the next episode. I don't have my pad on me right now though. I wrote it on a notepad somewhere.
Top 5, I think I had 3. The last time when we were on live, I think I had 3 ready.
Okay.
But
dang. If we're not ready, we're not ready. We won't even do it.
I don't even want to play myself.
All right. Rick Ross.
We starting with Ross?
Let's go right into
All right.
Ross. Let's do it.
So richer than I ever been.
Yeah.
Rick Ross's 11th studio album. 11. I can't even believe that. I'm like, wow, 11 albums.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, man. He's there. He's there. You want to go or you want me to go?
I can go ahead and go, man. So yeah, 11 studio album. This is Rick Ross, one of my favorite rappers in the game, to be honest with you. Some critical joints that he's dropped. Teflon Don was in my top 5 of the 2010s. Sure. I don't really remember which one it was, but it was my top 5. So I think that he is a good MC. And I also really did like his 2017 joint. It was 2017 or 2018. The joint that had the Santorini Grease joint on it, the Apple of My Eye joint, the High Power joint with Future and Jeezy. He had a Nas joint on there.
Rather You Than Me.
Rather You Than Me.
2017, yeah.
But he did drop something since then, right?
He actually dropped Port of Miami too in 2019. Right. And I actually forgot all about that until I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. So right now, how am I feeling about this joint? It's okay. You know, it's to me, it's just decent. Ross is going to give you some strong Ross records. You know, he's going to give you that boss talk. He's going to give you that, yeah, like we said, this episode is going to be called Boss Up. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give you that boss talk. He's going to give you, you know, he's going to have the street aspects and whatnot on it. He opens up the album with Willie Falcone. I actually did check out that documentary on Netflix this year that detailed their whole Miami story and whatnot.
What's the name of the documentary?
Should be the Cocaine Cowboys joint.
Oh, okay.
About that whole enterprise and whatnot. So he always gonna keep in Miami.
Yeah. I gotta look into that.
Some standouts on this joint for me, man. He did have some good production on here. It looks like Lil Havana, that first joint. He had a lot of Boy Wonder on this joint. A lot of Boy Wonder. He had the Pulitzer joint, which was produced by Timbaland, which is a joint that I do like. But I'm just gonna give you some of my favorite joints, man, and get out the way. I really did like the Pulitzer joint. That is Timbaland. I like Warm Words in a Cold World, which actually ended up being produced by, that's the Bink. Wale. Yeah.
That's Bink.
Yeah, Bink is on that joint. I also did like Outlaws, which is crazy because that's an A-Rap music joint. It does sound kind of like A-Rap. A-Rap, Carnage, and Infamous produced that joint.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That's kind of crazy.
And I did also like the Imperial High joint, which was produced by DJ Tomb. G.
Yes.
We got a Tomb sign, but my favorite joint overall, honestly, right now is Marathon. I really like the beat on that joint. I like that one. I like Rick Ross flow. Like the whole joint, he has a good flow. He is one of the top flowers in the game. He has a lot of good flows on here. But overall, I think this joint is just decent. You know, it's not nothing that's going to wow people. I've been hearing people saying that it's underwhelming. But I try not to have any expectations about anything anymore. So I think it's an okay album. It's not whack. It's just, I don't think it's better than, it's probably not better than the last two joints. Definitely not the Rather You Than Me joint. That was my shit. I honestly want to go back to that joint. But yeah, man, Rick Ross, man, how you feel about it?
Yeah, Rick Ross, I definitely agree with the sentiment that I appreciate Ross on many levels. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate him the way I appreciate Kanye, the way I appreciate Jay-Z, as far as being an entrepreneur, as far as being a mogul and putting himself in a position to be a boss. He's always been about that. And you know, let me go ahead and preface this by saying you sent me the B-Dot and Elliott Wilson interview, and I watched like a good 40 minutes of it before we were able to do the show today.
Yes.
And so that definitely plays a part in how I feel now about the album. I can't lie about that. However, musically, but it makes me feel a way about Ross as a businessman, and I'm gonna put a pin in that and come back to that.
Go ahead, do your thing.
I'm gonna come back to that, but musically, as far as the album is concerned, I agree with you. I do think that it's an okay album. I think that in the canon of his work, it won't be remembered. It's gonna be like a black market, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
People like black market.
Not a lot of people like black market. Not a lot of people remember black market. I couldn't even. I know that Mary J is on that album, but I couldn't tell you half the song. I couldn't tell you no song from that album.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But this is a little bit better than Black Market, but I think it will be forgotten in obscurity in that way. Rather You Than Me is his last joint that I really like. I did like Rather You Than Me. I did like Little Havana. I like Little Havana. I like Ross's verse. I like The Dream. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dream.
I would agree. I forgot to mention that joint, man. Yes, that is a good joint. Go ahead.
I like what The Dream brought to that joint.
I like what The Dream brings to everything he's done in the past maybe 3 years.
Bruh, he's good.
The man is on the run. We gonna see
on the J Electronica joint. All right, but nah, I'm a little perturbed with the Pulitzer, man, because it's like this is just a loop. This is Timbaland. He paid $250,000 for this beat. That's a little alarming for it to be. This don't even seem like like the Timbaland. Like the two producers that inspire me, that inspire my production at all times, is RZA and Timbaland. Top two. Timbaland, for the way that he produces around the whole track. His joints always have ebbs and flows. And this song, and I'm gonna assume is what Ross wanted.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It's just a loop through the entire thing, which is alarming that it's Timbaland. Like, this don't sound like Tim. This doesn't have Tim's flair. I'm really underwhelmed by it. You know what I'm saying? And I was confused when he mentioned like Timbaland Rich, $250 a beat. I'm like, why are you talking about Timbaland? And then to come to find out the song is produced by Timbaland.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's that kind of that. Dang, Tim.
Maybe can I say something there?
Maybe this is what Ross wanted, though. Go ahead.
So Tim, though he had, and what I'll say it is, Tim definitely has changed. But what I'll give him credit at is that his beats have gotten very technical from the standpoint of that, like it's knocking, right? Like it sounds crisp and clean. It's definitely not produced all the way throughout, like, you know, to your point where at the end of it we don't hear a baby or some obscure drum drop and then something go crazy. But lately he had been doing these more so just banger, like crisp sound, because Amari is Timbaland as well. You know what I'm saying? Which also is a
wow.
You didn't know Amari was Timbaland? Yeah, Amari is Timbaland.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which probably has a little bit more, but Cole's flow is switching. He's increasing his intensity.
That don't sound like Tim at all, G.
But what's my number?
It almost feels as if like that's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me, man.
Yeah.
When I hear a Ninth Wonder beat, that sound like Ninth.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear Alchemist, that sound like Alchemist. When I hear Pharrell, the Neptunes, I'm like, yo, this sounds like them. When I hear Tyler, this sounds like Tyler. This sounds like his type of melody.
He's definitely ventured some, for sure. He's ventured, but
it doesn't feel, it almost feel like, you know, because he works with a lot of producers also. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He works with different people that he be trying to bring up. Are they ghost producing? Are they on some B-Dot type stuff? And I don't know, This is speculation. Just because if I hear a Ninth beat, if I hear a Tyler beat, if I hear a Pharrell beat, they've progressed in the sense that they've gotten better at what they do, but it still sound like them. Like I can hear the lineage of where they came from throughout their music. And I don't hear that in Amari or in the Pulitzer.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked. It's just
no,
as
I hear
a
you,
fan,
sure.
and I'm a fan, G.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this as no, you know what I'm saying, no diss or nothing. As a fan, I'm a little like, wow, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
for me, you know, and I'm not, you know, if that's what he want to do, that's what he's trying to do, you know what I'm saying? But for me, that song is just all right. You know what I'm saying? That's not, I would, if I'm going through, as I'm going through and finding the songs that I like and don't like, I would skip that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like Benny's verse on Rapper Estates. I really like Marathon. I really like Marathon.
That's the one.
I really like Marathon.
I gotta add that to a playlist at some point. I gotta add that. I gotta do that.
Now I gotta say, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm about to be unpopular opinion Kamal Kiddo around here, man.
UPO Kamal, shout out to homie Ren. UPO Kamal.
But with Marathon, man, the last minute is like a slow fade out. And I'm confused as to why, you know what I'm saying? Just as like engineering wise, why they chose to rap over that. Make it like so long of a fade out. Like it's fading out. It's getting lower for a whole minute. I'm like, what's going on? Like, let's get to the next song.
I think it's some elegant type stuff. Like he wanted to really do a long fade out. And it is a dreamy beat. It is a very,
I like that joint though.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe that was a little bit of the aesthetic there. I don't know.
I mean, you know, warm words in a cold world. I like that joint. I like the way that, you know, I've heard this sample a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I do like the way Bink, you know what I'm saying, flipped it. And I actually am surprised that Future did what he did on it. You know what I'm saying? He used his melody. You know what I'm saying? That to me, you know, his verse is cool, but I appreciate the artistry in it. You know what I'm saying? He really he's an artist. And
well, he came away. Hold on. The first 8 to 12 bars, he was barred up. There was no real melody. He came in rapping. I'm like, wait, is this? And then he kind of got to the melodic, you know. So,
but to do that, you know, I don't know if I've ever heard Future on a beat like that. You know what I'm saying? And so to hear him, you know, shout out to Russ to even say, I'm gonna get Future on this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, that's even odd in itself. But I can appreciate what he did on it. You know what I'm saying? I can appreciate what he brought to the song as an artist. He used what he does and brought it to the song.
Yeah.
Wiggle is like, you know, I'm seeing that as like, you know, that's that Miami joint, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel him, but yeah. It is really, yeah. Strippers can shake their butts to that, you know what I'm saying?
I like Imperial High a lot. I like Richer Than I Ever Been. Outlaws, I'm confused by, you know what I'm saying? I was saying this in the chat the other day, like, the song is called Outlaws. Jasmine Sullivan sounds really good on it, but she's talking about love. Her hook is about, don't worry about what everybody telling me, don't be with this person. And it's like, man, I still love this person.
Yeah.
Why don't y'all let it go? And then 21 Savage and Ross are talking about whatever they're talking about. It's a very confusing song. As much as it sounds good, it's confusing that, it's kind of seem all over the place to me. It doesn't sound Focus to me. And I think Wiz Khalifa sounds very whack on that song.
Okay.
I like the song. I like the beat.
How dare you call Wiz whack? How dare you?
I
Go
think
ahead.
he's hardly rapping. He's hardly rhyming. He's hardly rhyming. He's hardly rhyming.
Yeah.
But for all these reasons, you know, there's a lot of ups. I had a lot of ups and downs listening to the album.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's why I feel like it'll be forgotten in that sense. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be another Ross album that has some songs on it, but I don't believe people will return to it the way they might return to Teflon Don, or rather You Than Me. You know what I'm saying? Now let me take that pin out. I put a pin in the fact that I watched the interview.
Yes.
And you know, I talk about the album because that's the musical aspect of Ross. He mentioned in his interview how he's a boss, which he is, in several other ventures. And music is just one of them, where, you know, as a fan, I'm a fan consuming his music, but he created what he wanted to create in music, but he's doing other ventures. He did that. He's like the thing, like our podcast is about music and beer. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're discussing. That's what we're talking about. But Ross is bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? His value in the culture is bigger than this album. And so I may feel a way as a fan, but I respect him enough as a figure in the culture that I'm gonna always check for what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not the album for me, Ross. This is not the album for me. I feel a lot of what you said on here. You know what I'm saying? I like your flow. I'm a fan. I check for you. But this is not the album that I'm gonna be returning to, because it's just not.
Yeah.
But I do feel you as far as what you represent, what you bring to the culture. And you know, it's entities that like that are hard for me to just put a blanket rating on an album. You know what I'm saying? Like, they worth is more than this project. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me say this as well, but it's also, look, it's become, it's going to be hard for me to call somebody's album anything but at worst okay, right? Unless an album is very just really whack. Like, some stuff is just not for you at that moment, or you know, the artist could have thought that they did a great job, but at the same time, maybe it just didn't really connect. Maybe they was in a space where they made something that they thought was the best thing ever, but for everybody else, everything on the album was a 6.5 and a 7 versus a 10. And it'd be like that. That's why I said this album for me is decent. Like, because I can't say Wiggle may not be a song I like, but if I heard that somewhere I was out kicking it or something, I probably would still be dancing to that joint.
That's a fact.
So it's just like, you know.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah. Judging music now is a little bit, you know, people probably would say we're the nicest judges of because, you know, I'm not the end all be. I'm not the alpha and the omega of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course, nobody is though. Nobody is.
I'm an artist myself. So it's like, I know, like, sometimes it just don't, you know, I could think my shit was fire and somebody be like, hey, this shit is not good at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's how you feel.
Subjective. It's all
very subjective.
But also, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you know, it may not be for you. You know what I'm saying? It may not be for your vibe at the moment. In a different space, you might feel it. You know what I'm saying? There's some songs, definitely, like I've listened to this album over 5 times. It's a short listen in the grand scheme. And, it's like I've had enough time to, like, I can appreciate. And I mean, I like Ross, and Ross verses are drenched in a code language. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's talking to certain people in his verses a lot of times. He be naming people that you may have to Google.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? He be talking about situations sometimes that no one else is privy to but him and like 5 other people in his circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But and even listening to his interview, I this is a side note, but I appreciate listening to interviews. I probably should listen to it, the Russ interview also, because it makes me appreciate the person behind the music.
Yeah.
That's what's got me even like, I was ready to come on here and be like, nah, this ain't the Ross album, nah. But listening to the interview made me retract and think back, and I do appreciate Ross. You know what I'm saying? I always check for him, even though I don't like all his albums. You know what I'm saying?
Let me put a point there too, though, but here's the thing, right? Now the interviews are the magazines, because we used to listen to the music and then we check for the magazine interview. So I think that I don't do it a lot, but I think I'm going to get into the habit of watching more interviews when it is time to listen to albums, to get a full perspective, even of just what's happening. And I'll kind of put I'll mention that when I talk about Russ from the standpoint of the interview that I watched. Like, I think that kind of adds, I wouldn't say that the interview, it's not taken away from you just judging the music based upon the music, but it does provide a broader perspective though as well, which is good.
Yeah.
So
I agree. And that's why I say this is not the Ross album for me, but I do think it's going to get lost in obscurity like Black Market.
Yeah.
However, Ross brings so much more to the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His worth in the game is immeasurable. You know what I'm saying? What he's showing that you could do, man, the man is good. The man is good.
And something else, and we'll go to Russ. Something to say about that though, too. Yeah. Ross thinks that Black Market is one of his more slept on projects. And also, I know at least 2 Ross fans who would agree. Now, I don't, but that's just to, say, and the reason why is because they say it's a lot of game on that joint. It's a lot of game. Maybe I'm not catching the game on this one right now. I don't know. Not to dismiss my opinion about it, but I'm just saying,
right.
Even the album, like to the point of, this may not be for us. I know people who Norm is Black Market, G. Like, wow. I'm like, what? Like, Moggs. No, it's some hardcore Ross fans that really like that album, man. Like,
wow.
If we had one on the podcast, they'd have been like, stop it right here. But no, let's go to Russ.
Word up. Richer Than I Ever Been, Rick Ross, 11th studio album. Check it out.
Yeah, man.
Moving on. Russ is from North Carolina?
He's from a lot of different. So people say he's from Atlanta, but when I watched his interview, he's somebody who's been a lot of places. He did live in North Carolina, but his birthplace is New Jersey. But I guess he spent most of his lifetime within the greater Atlanta area. So there's that. Yeah.
All right. Chomp 2. I was looking for Chomp 1. The first Chomp. I haven't found it.
It's on Apple. Is
it really?
It's an EP.
Oh, it's an EP. Okay.
Similar format though, just rappers, bunch of rappers, everybody going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, go ahead.
Is that what it was? Is that what it?
It's a 7-track EP. It has Black Thought is on that joint. I think Benny is on that joint on there. It came out in 2020. So yeah.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yep. I
Why
believe.
I
Yeah.
didn't see that, but so here's how I feel about Russ, man. I've heard of him. I hadn't really seen too much of, like I've heard of him. There, I don't think I really listened to what he had going on or any of his music for real, for real. I think he can rap. I think he's a decent MC. I think he got some bars. I was not privy to what Chomp Part 1 was. So I won't even speak from that lens. All I can do is speak from this first listen lens. My lens is never hearing a Russ album at all, a Russ project at all. This is the first time I'm hearing Russ. I thought it was interesting that he chose to put all these features on the album. It's only 3 songs that don't have features out of like 2017 something songs or something like that.
14 songs.
Okay, 14. Yeah. So 14 songs. I said 2017. but all right. So you got all these rappers like major lyrical rappers. I thought it was interesting that he surrounded himself with all these major lyrical rappers for a project. Maybe that's what Chomp 1 was, but just from the lens of not hearing them ever, I saw it as a trying to validate himself as a lyrical rapper, as a rapper of this caliber with these MCs. I actually thought that I thought it was a good attempt at doing that. I do think that he did hold his own. I do think that he got bars.
Yeah.
I think that the album though there's some songs that I really like. Like I really like the Primo joint with Big Crit.
Classic Primo.
Yeah, and that's mainly because of Primo, right?
Oh
yeah,
my
like
God.
I checked, right? Like I like that song.
Hey, Snoop is rapping. That's a good Snoop verse.
Snoop actually did rap. Actually,
Big Crit shined the most though.
Actually, Snoop did actually rap.
Yeah.
But I thought that the album kind of moved more like a compilation. You know what I'm saying? Than an album with a focus.
Yeah, for sure.
What I'm saying? Like an album that was telling a specific point of view. You know, as like Richer Than I Ever Been has a point of view. You know, other albums that I enjoy listening to have a certain story or point of view, or you know, there's something there that you can understand more of the artist. And I felt like, you know, besides like a few lines here and there, it was mainly to show the ability of rapping that he can do. Yes. And I think that's the point of it. But because of that, for my personal listening ears, it came off more as a compilation.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of artists are on here. And so he's just like lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like you know, Static Selector is on there a couple times, I think. And at least
some heavyweights on here. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
And so, you know, the Knife joint is good too. Like Knife is on there, and that song sound like Knife. You know what I'm saying?
Good
but
point,
anyway, it sounds like a Static Selector compilation joint. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds
like
it sounds like, you know, if a DJ or if a beat maker, if a producer got a bunch of cats together and made a album. You know what I'm saying? It's got Hit Boy on it. It's got, you know what I'm saying? And this is all because he said their name on the track, not because I even looked at the credits.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? He got artists from different coasts. He got the Game on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got new era and old era MCs. He's got Conway on the song with Ghost.
Crazy.
You know
That's much.
For sure.
Yeah.
But for my taste, it does sound like a compilation. I thought it was interesting that he, you know, decided to have all of these MCs on it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like a focus. It sounds like they all just in a cipher rapping. They just all rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. If that's what you attempted to do, that's cool. For my taste, it's cool. It sounds like a compilation joint to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's all I got to say.
Yeah, man.
But he does have some bars on here.
Yeah. Oh.
Sahai went in on that joint. I actually thought this was one of Jay Electronica's like not so great verses. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I thought he was rapping, man. I
did not. For
It's
what I know Jay to
convoluted.
do, for what I know Jay Elect to do, that was just all right to me. You know what I'm saying?
Question: Did you like the Kanye album verse?
I did.
You did? Okay.
I thought that was a better verse than this verse, actually.
Okay.
I did like Papoose' verse. Ransom is like, I just heard about Ransom maybe last year, and like, I mean, he's been around for a while, but Ransom is a rapper.
Ransom is like
ooh, he can hit you with some punchlines.
No distant. This isn't a distant. Ransom is like Benny without the Griselda, effect. You know what I'm saying? Like he really has a following from the standpoint of people who rocking with him, just from the standpoint of just the bars. People really like what he's doing lyrically. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, my fault, man. I had to get my charger real quick.
Oh yeah, do your thing. We don't want that to happen.
Right. But yeah, man. You're right. Let me not ignore that this time. But yeah, man. I said all I had to say about
okay. I mean, so yeah, this is my first, like I said earlier, this is my first real listen. I've heard some of his songs. This is my first real listen to Russ. And the reason why I've seen this album is actually doing pretty well right now. This joint is floating around, people checking for it. But to everything that you just said is one of the other reasons why I kind of, like when I kind of get into interviews and whatnot. What I knew about Russ was really a lot of the controversy, because he really pushes back against the industry. He is a true independent artist. If you look on Apple, who released this was Russ, whatever his company is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is somebody who deals in a lot of independent ventures, in and outside of music, and he's all about independent.
Russ My Way Inc.
Yes, but to your point, though, you are 100% correct, which is why I like the intentionality of this album. There is no trying. The point of the point of Chomp is, I'm gonna get these beats and we gonna eat, right? And what the album really is, verbatim, is I want to play one-on-one, Mike and Kobe, LeBron, or whatever. I want to play one-on-one with my favorite rappers. I want to go one-on-one with my favorites. You know what I'm saying? So the intentionality of the project is just that. So people out there who really like bars, if y'all listening to this, y'all don't know what we're talking about, and you be like, man, what are people who only care about, like, this man put out an album where the sole purpose of it is just rapping. Like, there's no mistakes as far as like what the album is about. No, he got his favorite rappers and he sent them the songs and said, people replied or whatever, and he got the verses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's one of the dope things I thought about the album though is that he goes first on all these joints, and he said he didn't change anything, right? He sent people, so people knew what what he was gonna do. They listened to it and they gave him the song back. A lot of cats, when people be barring you up, they'll change, they get the verse back and it's like, let me change this and that because this guy's killing me. But he didn't. But yeah, the whole idea behind Chomp is just, he wanted to get with his favorite producers and he wanted to get with his favorite rappers and just give a bar fest. So,
I respect that.
I mean, so there's no question about, what I'm saying? So yeah, So, but I let me just some songs. I do appreciate the project. I like the project. I'm not gonna front. High Tech is on his joint. High Tech is on the joint with him and Game.
Really?
Yes. So
High Tech is on here.
He said he did that because he really liked when High Tech and Game collab. He said he really, if you think about I'm running, that's High Tech and Game, right? So he wanted to reconnect that. You see what I'm saying? He's a really big fan of Bink and what he did for the Blueprint, right? So Bink is on this joint. Bink is exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Bink is on here?
Bink is the joint with him and Mozzie, number 13.
Wow.
Yeah, Boy Wonder is on this joint. Obviously, Alchemist. Alchemist is with him, Conway, and Ghost. Jake One is on this joint. Harry Fry with him and Jay Electronica. He produces on this joint. Jake One, I said again, but yeah, it's just it's a sound bombing joint. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I'm a brand on the land, on the making money hand over fist, never hand over this. I've been trying to keep my cool.
Wow, I haven't heard High Tech in so long.
You see what I'm saying? So to your point, it is a sound bombing. It's a sound bombing lyricist lounge vibey for the rapper's album. That's what it is. So I don't have much to say, man. I'm just gonna again say what I like. I like Fate. Let me go to my notes. Hold on, because we do be doing notes. I like Fate. I did like Free. I like Top of the World, and I really like Distance, man. Distance is classic Alchemist, man. You know what I'm saying?
I would have never thought that was Alchemist, to be honest with you.
That joint sound like some was Alchemist? No. Was Alchemist By Your Side? No.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
It remind me of that.
Yeah.
But no,
that was Alchemist.
To put a stamp in it, listen again. If you don't know what we're talking about, obviously, because people really don't be really checking. He has a cult following. If you are out there, you be like, where the bars at? Where the people who care? Again, this man gave you an album with the intentionality of the best rappers that he think are the best rappers and going bar for bar over the best producers that he never rapped with. So
for sure.
That's what that is.
Yeah, for sure. And
that's... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He had a bar on the Charlemagne interview, G, where he was talking about independent artists, and he said something to the effect of labels need to get out the way. All labels should be doing is financing and letting the artists do what they do. He said, gee, I financed this whole project. He said, I went to a bank. I got financed for $2 million. Use that to get the production. Use that to get the artist that I wanted to. Took out a billboard in the New York Times Square, $60,000 for 1 hour. And I'm gonna finance this joint. All I gotta do is pay $1,000 a month. He said, now I have the money to pay $2 million up front if I wanted to, but that's what the label does anyway. They give you a loan. You got to pay all that back. So I went direct to a bank, financed my whole project, and I'm going to take my other money like I always do, invest it in some crypto, invest it into some real estate and whatnot, and I'm good. I'm going to bruh, y'all go watch the Russ interview.
He's smart, dude. But see, he's tried his hand. He's been in the game a while, and shout out to Jay-Z, to Rick Ross, and to all the other entrepreneurial minds that
they planted the seed
in the game.
Yeah.
there would be no Russ. There wouldn't be that.
That's what I'm saying.
If artists like, because he studied the game, obviously, apparently.
That's what
and
I'm
he
saying.
used those jewels, and he's been talking to people and listened. You know what I'm saying? Because before, like 10 years ago, you didn't have artists that were like, there's some artists that take advances and all of that, and they do the regular rap stuff.
Yeah.
But today's era of artists,
bruh,
have OGs to look at as a blueprint.
Yes.
And pull from different, techniques on how to do things and use them to your own advantage. And that's exactly what he's doing. And that's dope, G.
Bruh.
That's a testament to what the culture, to what these artists have given the culture. That's what I'm saying. Like, we talking about music and judging music when the importance of a lot of these artists are bigger than their music. Like,
yes.
I was talking to somebody the other day about how, like, you know what I'm saying, Nipsey didn't really break through. Nipsey didn't really break through on a music level. People like his last album, and his last album did numbers for some people. Now, I know that a lot of people like his last album. I do know that. I'm aware that people liked his last album. His last album did numbers, I believe, because before his last album, people knew about him, but he wasn't like a super A-list rapper.
Yeah.
He was given a platform because of, or not to say, not, I take that back. Not he was given a platform, but he was given awareness because of his death, unfortunately.
Yeah.
When people go back and hear his interviews, though, he was giving game all the time and thought it was very important. And Marathon on Richer Than I Ever Been has a line that says, first I gained wealth and now I'm teaching it, or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a line that Nipsey, that's a quote that Nipsey has talked about. You know what I'm saying? I got with Ross because he be teaching wealth.
I fuck with Rick Ross because he's teaching wealth. Yeah. Blue Laces 3. One of my, listen, don't get me to listen. That's what makes me so mad, is because, and this is a sidebar, is because yes, the death did push it up some, but he was on his way, G. Like with that joint, he was on his way. He was really starting to get those looks with that joint. But that, go ahead. I mean,
and that's the thing, like, he's heralded today, not because of his music, G. Not because of his music, but because of what he was teaching and his jewels that he dropped. His interviews are important. You know what I'm saying? His interviews were important. When people go back and watch them, like, dang, G. And Russ is the type of artist that will look at that and say, let me take some notes. And he used it to his advantage, and now he's giving them back. You know what I'm saying? He's telling you what he did. And in telling you what he's doing, he's also dropping jewels.
And what's crazy is that he in the interview, he did say something to the effect of, G, what I'm doing, he said, I already know the stuff that I'm doing, and like the stuff, because I said, again, I knew of him again from like interview clips and whatnot. He said, G, I won't get the respect I probably deserve until I'm dead anyway, G. Like, they'll go back and watch stuff that I've said and whatnot, and that's when I'll get my roses. That's when I'll get appreciated. Because why would the industry, he said something like, I can't expect for this magazine to rock with me because I said I don't rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying things that are kind of anti what they want, I'm saying we should own our masters and nobody should have that. So why would these people rock with me? Why would they? I'm you see what I'm saying? Like I'm a cancer to what they want to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, man. Boss up. Y'all go out there, man. Y'all go on, you know what I'm saying, Luella Cole, go cop some gear. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go out there. Y'all support our homie Sparks Stolic. You know what I'm saying? I said Stolic.
Right. Gravy.
I said Stolic. Yeah. Not Stolic. I'm tripping. Gravy. Yes, exactly. Because I'm a little tipsy right now. I'm messing the names up. Y'all go rock with my homie Chris Shields. You know what I'm saying? Y'all check for that. You know what I'm saying? My homie Shields out there. Anybody who out here. It's a lot of bossed up people that I know that's trying to grind from an independent level that I'm checking for. The homie Kamal Kiddo that had Ross had some of his apparel and some of his stories and his lives and whatnot.
Facts.
If you out there on an independent grind, man, just stay at it. I don't give a shit if you are a hustler from the standpoint of the music or the podcasting or the clothing, the beer. Stay at it. Don't give up. Boss up.
And be you. Give you to the game. Don't try to be like nobody else. Give yourself to the game. Shout out to Ross, man. That's another jewel he dropped, man. Be you. Mm-hmm. Be you. You need to be brought to the game. Don't try to be like nobody else. Be you.
This is a fact.
Facts.
It's the biggest, man.
Rick Ross, BEERZ BARZ, man.
Yeah. See y'all next time.